8mm rebar. So let's see if this cordless grinder even has the power to turn this wheel. Fully charged. Say it has about the power to turn it. I'm going to do a runtime test. So this battery is fully charged. I only used it for that 10 seconds there. So I'm just going to put it on, start a stopwatch and see how long it runs for. So 9 minutes. I'd say maybe take a minute off of that because I had to turn it off a few times just for a minute because the vibration was something else. So, battery is fully depleted. I'd say it's pretty warm, although I felt it warmer. Grinder itself is pretty cool, except for up here, it's a little warm. Never used this accessory before, but I definitely don't recommend cordless grinders for it because it's so much vibration, it's just going to destroy your battery contacts. I do have to say I like the narrow grip back here. It's kind of nice. Anyway, it actually has the power to turn this, although as soon as you get it into like a corner or catch a bolt or something, it starts to bog down. So it has the power to do this wire brushing, but it's definitely better to use a corded or a corded grinder, and like not a small one like this, a big one, because it takes quite a bit of power to turn this. Anyway, that's the runtime test. About, I'd say about 9 minutes, 8.5 minutes, probably about 9 minutes of continuous. So if you're turning it off, turning it off, it's probably going to give you 10 or 11 minutes on a 5 amp hour battery. Anyway, let's go see if this will charge. So it's actually gotten warmer. Let's see. Yeah, see, it's too hot. So, but anyway, there's the runtime test. Now, if this had a fan in it, it would be blowing cold air through that battery. I've never cut concrete with this grinder before, so I figured I might as well do so before I reviewed it. Pretty used blade, fully charged, 5 amp. Here goes. Oh, there you have it. 2 cuts and we're still at 3 bars. So, cuts concrete well. Gonna do a stall test with this grinder disc using a 5 amp hour battery. This is the same battery I used for the concrete cuts a few minutes ago, so it's done 2 cuts in a concrete block. I'm using this battery rather than a fully charged one because why not? And if you're going to lose a whole pile of power after doing 2 cuts, I kind of say that power doesn't really matter anyway. So, let's see how she does. Takes a lot to stall it. Okay, this time I'm just gonna go really hard right away. I'm not gonna go gradually. Yeah, it takes a lot to stall it. The handle even came undone. So, anyway, that's what I wanted to show. Mine came as the bare unit and a T-stack. So, T-stack, the insert comes out. And it's the nice insert, it's the thick heavy plastic insert, not the cheap ones that they put in some of their tools. So, it's nice having a big box like this to put everything in. It will not fit, as you can see with the battery on. You have to take the battery off, you can put battery there, and it looks like it will take the flex volt batteries. And this is for your charger, I believe. And then your grinder fits like that. What's really nice is that it will fit with the handle and the blade on in this box. It's not like my other Dewalt grinder where you have to take the blade and the handle off and then kind of cram it all into the little box. But anyway, so it fits like that. And then the key fits back here. And I would imagine that you could fit quite a few discs in here as well. Today's review is on the Dewalt DCG405 angle grinder. So this is their 18 volt standard angle grinder with the slide switch. You can get it, the same angle grinder is also available with a paddle switch. I believe that's the DCG406. And you can also get this in a flat nose angle grinder, which is the DCG405F. But this is the one I have. So it's brushless, 18 volt. It has the brake on it. It's 9,000 RPM, 125 or 5 inch. And it's the standard screw for the discs. It has the nice adjustable, guard adjustment here. I really like this design. Hold on. It's really simple. You just push that lever and you turn the guard, not the disc. And you can take it off too if you want. but you can't have a disc on when you're doing that. Personally, I think that this is the best design for the guard. And you may think that you don't need to change the guard much, but never fails, you'll need to move it. So yeah, it's a pretty nice grinder. I've been using it for over a year now, and I hope that the footage that I put at the beginning of this video of me using it shows its performance. So I'm going to consider that I have enough of that by now. So anyway, it's got a pretty nice handle on it. It's pretty narrow and easy to hold. The side handle is a little skinny and it's just a little too close to the disc for comfort. So on the nose here, it's got plastic, as you can see. And when I was first looking at buying a cordless grinder, I really didn't want to buy this Dewalt because of this plastic here. It wasn't single piece like regular grinders are. And I was a little concerned that that was a crappy design, but I'd say that it doesn't really matter, and even if it did break, it's probably like a $5 piece or something. But I did buy this grinder in the end because I was going to buy a Makita cordless grinder, but I didn't have Makita batteries at the time, so I ended up buying this one anyway just because it was the easiest. And I'm happy I did because it's a nice grinder. Now, in case you're wondering what other grinders I have experience with, I have my Dewalt 125mm 1200 watts, the DWE4217. I've had this one for a while. You can see the review. I did a review for quite a while ago for this one. It's still going strong. Then I just got this Makita 9565 CR. The review for this one will probably be along in a year or two, because I just got it. And this one has just a lever guard change, and I don't like that quite as much because I just don't think it's quite as sturdy and easy as the one on the Dewalt where you just push the button. So, how would I think that this compares to a corded grinder? Because I know a lot of people probably are wondering that. I would say that if you don't have easy access to power, this will do all your grinding needs no problem. If you have access to power, then I'd say it's still better to have a corded grinder. The reasons why: it's pretty strong, as you'll see. I'd say that the speed and power of this grinder, even though it's 9,000 RPMs instead of 11,000 or 12,000 RPMs, I would say it cuts pretty much as fast as the corded ones. But the runtime is pretty crappy. I did a runtime test. You'll see it at the beginning of the video. I think it was like 10 minutes or something for one of these 5 amp hour batteries. So it would not be hard to go through 10 charges of a 5 amp hour battery in a day, depending on what you were doing. And yes, you can get bigger batteries, but with the 5 amp hour, it's pretty balanced. I think anything bigger would make it unbalanced, and you could use the smaller batteries, but obviously that's going to give you even less runtime, and I don't think it would be quite as balanced or have as much power with those. So yeah, and the other thing is that because it's a grinder, there's a lot of vibration, so there's not much play on the battery. But I have heard, not on DeWalt grinders, but on other cordless tools, that the vibration can cause your terminals in the battery connection to wear away. And being a DeWalt, I don't think you can buy these terminals without buying the whole new motor. If it were a Makita, you could buy the terminals for like $5 and put new terminals in, but I'm pretty sure the Dewalt, if you want to change the terminals, you have to change the terminals, the computer chip, and the motor. So that's pretty expensive to do. Probably more than you paid for the tool. There's the brake right there. So it comes with the Allen key like all DeWalt grinders. It's not like other brands of grinders that come with this tool for taking the blade off. So to change the blade, this one comes with this, I don't know what they call it, the easy screw off nut or something. I don't know. But it's supposedly so that you can screw it on and screw it off without the tool. I don't like this nut really. I think it's too complicated. And it doesn't need to be complicated. So that's what it looks like. So this pushes in on a spring for if you're using shorter discs rather than just having the inside-outside screw. And yeah, it has these two little things so that it this will push against the blade and won't turn. Now the reason I don't really like this is, I suppose it's fine. I don't mind it. It's just if it broke, I wouldn't buy a new one. I'd buy one of these. So you can screw it on with your hands, but then you have to put brake on and tighten it. Then you have to, with this one you have to make sure that it's really tight, because if you don't make sure it's really tight, it's not like the inside-outside where it will just tighten itself. This one doesn't really tighten itself. Whereas with the inside-outside, you just screw it on, then give the disc a little turn and it's tight enough, and then to take it off, most of the time you can just take it off. Also with the inside-outside, you can either use your Allen key or you can use the standard tool. Just like that. But anyway, I actually don't know if they come like that everywhere. It may just be in this country that they come with that screw, but it's a good enough screw. It's definitely better than some of the other systems that companies have come up with to change grinder discs. But I still think that the inside-outside nut is all you need. So it does have the electronic brake on it. It really does stop quickly, and that is handy because you can put the grinder down and not have to worry about it catching something because it stops almost instantly. It has some sort of dust extraction equipment on it so that it'll pull the dust out of the motor and blow it out these screens here. So you do need to take these screens out, and there's just a little screw right there, and air them out occasionally. So it's got the build quality of a corded grinder. Up here this is aluminum, which is nice. I like aluminum. It's a lot better than the plastic, but anyway. This would be the PA6GF30, I guess. Probably means nothing to most people. And the overmolding would be TPE. It feels rugged, like it's not flimsy feeling. The battery is pretty good. And I think this is advertised as only a 900 watt angle grinder, so really it is only supposed to be performing as good as a 900 corded. So the fact that it still, even compared to the 1200 watt, it still performs relatively well. I'd say it probably does perform as good as a 900. I was going to buy a 900 watt just to compare for fun, but I decided against it. So yeah, it's a nice grinder. If you need a cordless grinder, it's definitely a decent option, especially if you're on the Dewalt batteries. As always, if you're on another battery platform like Makita or Milwaukee or Hikoki or something, it probably wouldn't be worth switching to this one. Switching to Dewalt just for this grinder. But it is a good grinder, and they do have a lot of others, as I think I said. Too many different numbers to recite here, and they're all pretty much the same grinder, same base grinder anyway. They all have the 125 disc on them. So yeah, good grinder. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.